Hi, I'm Dr. Karen Lewis, and I'm going to show you how to trim the nails on a big dog. And I feel like I'm kind of copping out because I'm using my nap time golden retriever for this. And I can show you some challenging dogs later, but I just did my other dog's nails and they're nice and short. So I'm going to use my sleepy time golden and show you how to do big dog nails. Big dog nails are kind of trickier too. So a lot of this is just going to be showing you how to know where to cut. So this nail is such a great example. I just couldn't pass it up and had to film it. So with nails that are black, now hers are partly black and partly clear. The question everybody worries about is, am I going to cut the quick? And it's stressful and they bleed and you get PTSD, and I get it. So we want to avoid that. And then you have help. If you do cut the quick, it's not the end of the world. Yes, you can use quick stop, you can use flour, you can use cornstarch. That said, I just let my dogs go run around in the dirt and the blood stops just fine. But, you know, so this nail here. So if you look closely, and let me get her extremely enthusiastic brother who just walks on all of us out of the way. So if you look here, you can see her quick is here. You see how there's some pink, and then this part becomes clear like a cream color. So I could go back here, but that's kind of far too. Let's look at the shape of this. So don't look at the color at all and just look at the shape. See how it gets very narrow and pointy here and wide there? So where I'm going to cut, so take a mental picture of this. I'm going to cut here. Now I wanted to get that pointy edge off. And when you cut nails, did I wake you up, ma'am? You want to do it quickly, confidently. You don't want to do it because that's how you can break a nail and hurt, and it's just not cool. Now, could I get more off this? Absolutely. Now my trimmer, maybe my trimmer is getting dull. See how I've got that little part there that kind of wasn't a clean break? So I'm going to just kind of gently shave off that little bit. Make it nicer. A little bit nicer. It's still not great. But yeah, so let's do a little bit harder nail because that was a pretty easy one that had that very distinct point. This is a little bit harder. We don't have that, eagle talon, please cut me now look to it. So here's a trick. You can gauge roughly how long your dog's quick is. Simon, dude, based on, the struggle is real, based on the other quicks. So we know that hers is about this long, so we can estimate that the next one is going to be about that long too. Yes, there is some little variation. You might have a dog with one quick just be crazy long, but generally speaking, you know about how much. So you know about how much you cut off of this one. So we're going to, again, look at the shape. See how this part gets narrow and then wider? So I'm going to do just the narrow part. Let me show you. And see now how the nail is more of a uniform shape. And it doesn't have like a wider base and a narrow tip. It's all kind of a similar size. So let's go to this next one here. I know. This is the world's longest nail trim. So, and we have your lovely brother helping us. So once again, I'm going to show, we really can't see where the quick is. And dogs with black toenails, it's tough. So we're going to say, well, hi, buddy. We're going to say, well, if it was about, I know about how much I cut off the last one. And if you look, this does get more narrow here than at the base. So I'm going to cut about that much. And now she's annoyed because her brother is sitting on her head. Why do we have brothers? I know, I love you too, honey, but come here. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so we almost have 1 foot done. Now this last one is another pointy one. We should have put your brother somewhere else. And this last one's this is an interesting one. You have a nice variety pack on your toenails here. So, oh my God. So, he's super pumped. We are gonna see how pointy this tip is. Now this one we're not gonna get very much off of because we're not starting with it as long as it used to be. We're just gonna get off this, let me show you, just this pointy tip here, and that's it. We're not getting much off this one at all, and that's okay, because for some reason that one's just worn down more. Now, I don't think, you don't have dew claws. My baby girl here, she's rescued from a puppy mill, so we never know what their life was like before we got them, but apparently when you were a puppy, they took your dew claws off. So let's look at this one. Now this one, you are such a good nail trim tutor. So the colors can really throw you off on this one. If a dog had a nail infection at some point, you'll get this discoloration, and that's what that is. And this cleared nail here is the healthy nail growing out. So before we got her, that's what this was, where she didn't have the greatest nutrition, wasn't the healthiest dog in the world. And if you would have seen her, you would have been like, whoa. But now she's a happy, healthy girl, and she has this healthy nail growing out of here. So this nail doesn't have a whole lot to cut off. I'm going to go by shape because the coloration can really fool you. And I'm going to go by, see how wide, and zip, narrow. I'm just going to cut off that little narrow part. And that's it. Now, could I go further? Probably. If I wanted to be a hero, I could. And just because I know my dog, I am going to go a little bit further on her. But you're not a horrible person if all you want to do is just that part. Err on the side of caution. So now this one, same thing. We have a narrower tip and a wider base. The colors can fool you. You see this line here and you think, oh, maybe that line is where I should cut. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let's go by shape and let's err on the side of caution once again. So I'm just going to go by here. I didn't cut quite to that line, as you can tell. Now I think I can actually see her quick and it's way up here. But I don't want to risk hurting her because she's been a really good girl today. So I'm just going to leave that. Maybe a different day I'll come back and do it. So same thing. Now this is good. This one has a nice hook to it. So you can also, we go by size and also by shape. So some nails grow straight out and this one goes kind of like an upside down U, okay? And that's helpful too because when it starts to curve down, see how it's got this straight line and then curve down? That's another really good way to know that the down curve part is what you want to cut off. So I'm going to do, not the whole down curve, but where it curves. And can you see the quick here? Possibly. Could I get more? Possibly. Do I want to? Oh, here's another good one. Girl. So this nail, we've got some discoloration here. This is a paw that she likes to lick. So I can tell, ma'am, you've been licking it a lot and it's actually stained. I can actually scrape that off from you licking. So again, can't really go by color. And black toenails, you're like, honey, it's the story of my life. So we're going to go by shape. Wider here, more narrow here, straight, then curves down. Okay? And I've been doing this for 20 years. So after a while, the more nails you look at, the more you can kind of see these things too. So I'm just going to do that one and then tell her what a good girl she is. So like I said, now if you do get a nail too short or anything, or if you're afraid, get some Quick Stop. You can buy it at like a local pet shop or anything and have it handy, have it open and handy. And that way you can just dip your finger in it and stick it on. Like I said, flour, cornstarch works well. If it's a real gusher, I'll use that. If it's a mild one, honestly, let them go run around in the dirt. Will it get infected? No. Why don't they get infected? Because nails, well, the reason they bleed so much is kind of a double-edged sword, I guess. But they don't get infected because they have such an enormous blood supply to them that the blood just flushes out any bacteria or anything that's going to get there. So I've never seen a nail get infected, a normal healthy nail get infected from trimming it too short. The ones that get infected are the ones that like have cancer or some other like underlying big thing going on. So don't stress about that too much. And more importantly, remember that your dog is not mad at you if you cut their nail too short. A lot of my owners, like I said, they come in and they have PTSD because, oh my gosh, I cut my dog's nail too short. And some dogs squeak. Some dogs make a big dramatic scene out of it, you know, if you have one of those dogs. This girl would probably give me a stern look. My other black dog, Simon, you saw running around here, would scream and act like a big baby for probably an hour. So they both are going through the same level of pain and trauma. Some just choose to milk it more than others. So hopefully this helps, and I'll try to get a cat video for you too. Thanks.